Righto, so as you can see, that made a massive difference. G'day guys, Cam Wild Touring. I wasn't actually going to post a video today. Reason being, I'm flat out packing the entire week for my first ever tinny trip. I'm going to be camping out of the tinny for 2 nights with another WA YouTuber, WA Camping Adventures. So I've been so busy doing that I didn't think I was going to have time to edit a video. However, I've just watched the news and I've seen that Victoria's looking like it's going to go into another lockdown because of some COVID outbreaks over there. And I know that I've got a lot of Melbourne followers because when we set off on our big lap of WA tour, Melbourne had gone into lockdown and they were in lockdown for bloody ages. And a lot of people were online looking for stuff to watch. They probably exhausted Netflix and Foxtel and stumbled across my YouTube channel, and I ended up with a lot of Melbourne followers. So I thought I'd pump this one out quickly for you guys. I'm going to stay up late tonight, edit this and get it out for you. This is the Dmax Touring Rebuild Series, or whatever I might call it. Basically all the things that we learned from our Big Lap of WA series, things that went wrong with the car that I wanted to rectify and get right, that's what's going into this series. But this episode today is going to be about reducing the in-cab noise. Rightio, so one of the things that really drove Tiff and I mad on this last trip was just the constant droning and the noise in this cab. So that's one of the things I want to tackle on this rebuild series. So what I'm going to start with is fitting a new exhaust, but before I do anything, I want to get a bit of a baseline for what the noise was like before, because I can tell you what it's like from my own perception, but I want to get an actual reading so that I know for sure if what I've done has actually improved it or not. So I've downloaded just a free dB meter, which is using just my normal phone microphone. That's not going to be very accurate, but what it will do is give me a baseline for right now what it's like. And then once I've made the improvements, it'll give me another maximum reading and I can compare the two. So although the reading itself is not going to be accurate, the difference between the two readings will give you an indication of whether I've actually made an improvement or not. I hope that makes sense. So a couple of measurements I want to get. One's just going to be sitting at idle. Obviously I'm going to have the aircon off, the radio off, the UHF off, just sitting at idle, get a sound level for that. And then a maximum sound level, which is going to be from standstill, accelerating up to 100k an hour on the highway. So that gives me a pretty good idea of what's going on. So I'm out doing that now. I'll reset this when I get to a set of lights or something before I take off, and we'll go from there. Getting up to highway speeds. Alrighty, so I've gone with a playtime exhaust again, 3-inch mandrel bent. This is the same one I was running last time, except that last time I went a bit boy racer and I didn't get a proper muffler. I got a little high flow muffler, and then I went one better and chopped the bloody thing short, just past the cab, because I was worried that it was going to be too close to the spare tyre in the back and the water tank. The water tank's coming out anyway because it's leaking. So that's no longer an issue, and I'll just make sure it clears the spare by enough. But other than that, I was reasonably happy with this exhaust. It's just too loud and drony, but that's on me because I've chopped it short and got the boy racer hot dog muffler. So interestingly, I don't know if the entire exhaust is red back, but the muffler certainly is. And it's come with the hardware, well, some hardware. Unfortunately, I'm going to be short of a couple of rubbers, so I'll have to go buy some. Because I chopped it short last time, the tailpipe didn't come the whole way out. I didn't need the rubbers, and I'm pretty sure I got rid of them. So might have to duck down to Super Cheap or somewhere like that and get some. And then we'll get this exhaust in and see if it makes a difference. just gonna have the water pump. Oh my lord. That was fun. So I've only replaced the two, because it's actually the exact same exhaust, other than the muffler and the tailpipe. So I've just replaced the muffler in this back tailpipe section. I've left the rest of the exhaust. It's all 3-inch mantle bent, high flow cat. And it was only a couple of years old, so it's still in good nick. A little bit of surface rust on it, but that's to be expected because the paint burns off and scratches off and whatnot. Can get stainless ones, but wasn't too worried about that. So yeah, I've only replaced these two bits, but they're the bits that are going to make the difference with the noise. If you've ever taken an exhaust off and fit it yourself, it's not too hard a job, but it's really fiddly getting especially on these modern diesels, getting the dump pipe off the back of the turbo, because they get really hot and then they go cold again, and they get a lot of surface rust and stuff. They really fuse on. They're a pain in the bum to get off. And I just couldn't be bothered doing that just to put the same exhaust on again. So just replaced the bits I needed to. And we're just about there. About 30 decibels. Rightio, so
You coming, Chloe?
finished that exhaust, and that improved road noise a little bit, but not enough that we're really happy with it. So I've done some reading and some research and talking to some people, and they suggested that I do some sound deadening. So at the moment I've just stripped out the front seats. I'm going to strip out the back seats, center console, all the roof lining, all the door skins, completely gut this, prepare all the bare metal so that I can stick down some of these sound deadening sheets. So you've probably heard of Dynamat. This is just another brand, STP. Sticky adhesive stuff on one side. It's some sort of rubber, and basically just has sound deadening or sound dampening properties. So I'm going to stick that to as much of this metal as I can, doors, the roof, so that all the vibrating and the resonating and whatnot will be reduced. That's the plan. So we'll see how we go. Today, the Savo's probably just going to be stripping it all out. If this little one will move out of my way. Hey, cheeky chops. So that is all the vinyl off the floor out, and just want to get that bit of cotton jute off the footwell going up to the firewalls there. Then I'm going to remove the skin on the roof, and I've got to remove all this plastic because I want to do insulation up there as well. This is all going to need a good clean before anything can be stuck to it. And then I'm thinking I'll probably finish the floor, this up into the firewall, the roof skin, and I'll do the doors as a separate stage once all the seats and everything else are back hinged, so I can use the car. It's not particularly difficult, it's just time consuming. Still got lots of trim to come off, and every piece comes off a different way. I forgot to get some of the, you can get these little plastic tools that you use to remove door trims and that kind of stuff. I forgot to buy them from the auto shop. They do sell them there. So I'm just using a weed puller. Just get it underneath the plastic clips and work it out. Not ideal, but it works all right. So I'm using the back of this roller. This is the STP brand roller. Bought it separately, but it's the same brand as this mat. I'm using the back of it so to get into these nooks and crannies. And this is a weighted roll. There's a bit of weight in it. So I'm just peeling the backing a little bit at a time. Kind of like putting contact on a book, just so you don't get air bubbles and stuff in it, because then it won't work as efficiently. It is my first time doing it, so it's going to be a bit of a learning curve, but slow and steady. Well, that took a while, a lot longer than I expected. That's a whole box there, so that's 15 kilos, 230 bucks already. Don't really care about the money, but I'm a little bit concerned how much. I was hoping I could get away with less than 2 boxes, but I've still got all 4 doors to do and the roof, so we'll see what happens. I don't know how much you can actually get into the doors, because I'm only going to do the outer skin, so not the skin that's, I'll show you when I get the door off. But anyway, I'm not sure how much I'll be able to get in there. It's taken a hell of a lot longer than I expected. It's not a hard job, but to get good coverage, stripping all this car out and just putting down this floor layer has taken me 5 hours already. So it's taken a while. I reckon a day and a half to do the whole thing. That's doing the roof and doors as well. Speaking of which, I better crack on. Well, I've been going from side to side with this thing and I can't bloody figure out how to get it out. And I wonder if they put this in either with the door unbolted or before the windscreen's in. And I really don't want to snap it. So I was messaging my mate Jaden, who gave me the inspiration to do this actually, because he's done his car and his old man's car. And he said he'd left the liner in just sitting loose like that and then worked above it. So that's a bit of a pain, but it's probably better than snapping this headliner, so let's just do that. That's the roof done. The roof was easy, not much cutting in, and I didn't use that much material, so that was pretty simple. Alrighty, time to reassemble it all. And then I reckon we'll go for a drive, and I'll get that dB meter up and we'll measure the sound, and then I will do the doors either today or at a later date, don't know yet, and we'll see what sort of difference the doors make as well. Just to give you an idea, if you want to do this yourself, whether or not it's worth doing the doors or not. I've got a sneaking suspicion the doors will probably make some of the biggest effect, but we'll see. An enormous difference. You can see my balance is right out, that's why the steering wheel's moving heaps. Need to get these tyres rebalanced. But that's huge, absolutely huge, that difference. I'm stoked with that. Oh, I'm sweating like a pig. It is humid today. It's not normally this humid in Perth. Anywho, I got a whole sheet in the door. I've done all the external skin. I'm not going to do too much on the internal because there's just too much going on. I have seen people not put that back on, that dust cover, and they just completely put sound deadening sheets across the whole door. I'm not going to do that. I've added enough weight to the car as it is. I'm happy just doing the external skin and then a couple of little offcuts. I'll just plaster where I've got room. Door's not too hard to do, they come apart really easily. Apparently they make the biggest difference if you're just wanting to do this for your speakers, because they stop all the rattling and stuff in the door. I'm just keeping the stock speakers in, I'm not that bothered about the audio system. Just the road noise was driving me nuts. Anywho, I've got another 3 doors to do. I'm not going to film it all, it's all the same as this one. But then we'll go and road test the thing. Alright, here we go. So job done, I've only got a few sheets left in one of the boxes. So I used about a box and 2/3, something like that. I measured these before I started. I weighed them, sorry. So I can weigh them again now and I know exactly what I've used. So 7 kilos left here and I started with 29. So I've used 22 kilos of material. 22 kilos to do the doors, the floors, the rear wall, the ceiling. That's it, the whole lot. So yeah, that's not too bad. Right, so as you can see, that made a massive difference. Cost me about 500 bucks all up. I ended up using just under 2 boxes, adding 22 kilos of weight to the car. At idle, I went from 47 to 30 decibels. The peak, the loudest that it got when I'm accelerating onto the freeway or whatever, was 73 before and after, which is interesting. But most importantly, cruising at 100k per hour went from 72 decibels to 50 decibels. They suggest that 72 decibels sounds something like a vacuum cleaner running flat out, and 50 decibels is about 1/4 of that volume. So the way that scale works, it's like exponential. So, but again, like I said, that decibel meter that I was using, it was an app on my phone. It's not real accurate, but what it does do is show you that there is definitely some improvement. The figures themselves, not so important, but it does highlight that there's been a significant improvement. And I can certainly tell that, and so can Tiff and Chloe. We're able to have a conversation in the car now. So the exhaust didn't make a huge difference, but the sound deadening made a massive difference and was well worth doing, I think. Even though it sort of went against my goal, I'm trying to strip weight in that car. It's added weight, but I think it was definitely beneficial. It was worth doing. Anyway, keep your eye out for more of these touring build videos. There'll be a few coming out. They're not necessarily going to be every week, one after the other. I'm going to scatter them in between trip videos and stuff like that just to break it up. Some massive ones coming up. Doing some really cool stuff with Pedders GVM and brake upgrades. I'm going to be in the workshop filming it. I've got the canopy build videos where you'll see me designing and filming the build for the new canopy. Tinny and is going to go on top. Outboard is going to go inside it. Offroad Living are going to supply me with some Allspark Lithium batteries to put inside. This is going to be a massive, really cool electrical fit out with induction cooktops and all the rest. Yeah, some exciting stuff happening. So, but for now, I've got to get back to packing this tinny. Just had Pete on the phone asking me how I'm getting on packing this thing. I'm meeting him on the road tomorrow. We're dropping it in the river and we're spending 2 nights on this thing. So I've got to make sure I've got everything I need. All right, cheers guys, I'll leave it there and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.